What's up, everyone, and happy Friday. We have finally made it to Friday. This morning, I woke up and literally was like, thank the Lord, it's Friday. I don't know, this week actually hasn't been a rough week for me. It's just been like, there's been pockets of days where I have just really felt not myself, or not even not myself. I've just been very tired. So kind of weird, but I'm happy that it's Friday. This weekend as any other weekend, like I always look forward to. Normally I say I'm looking forward to resting this weekend. This weekend I know I'm not going to get a lot of rest, and that's fine. I'm just looking forward to having the break. And always, as always, during the weekends is the time that I try to get my life together. So looking forward to that too. Also, thank you guys for really hanging in tough with me and my hair. It's funny because I was watching videos from last year, and if you were with me in 2019, be blessed. On Saturdays when I would film, my hair would always be crazy. Literally always. It's not even just my hair, just my life in general. So I feel like I'm almost kind of reverting back to that, but it's only because I work out literally almost every day. So it's very hard for me to figure out how to do my hair so that it doesn't sweat out and I'm not just wasting my time. So the pigtails are here. Probably should have redone them, but that's okay. We're going to run with it. And so let's get right into today's video. Yeah, let's just hop right in. So as always, God is blessing us. He's always going to be blessing us. Today is our last day talking about multiplying our fruit. And so on Wednesday, we really highlighted a lot of different reasons as to why we would want to multiply our fruit. And I loved Wednesday's discussion. I think that it was so necessary to have. Anytime you're talking about doing anything, you should always ask yourself the why. I was actually just talking about that with one of my managers, or one of the VPs of the company. And I was just saying, like, it's very important for people to know the why, to make it make sense. Like, you got to make it make sense, especially when you're talking to intellectual people. Like, you can't just tell them to do something and then that's that. Like, you always, 9 times out of 10, you always need to share the why. Not for them to be nosy or anything like that, but just to give them more, just to allow them to have more responsibility in it. So we talked about the why. We would want to multiply our fruit on Wednesday. Today we're going to talk about how, and I've actually identified a lot of different reasons as to how we can multiply our fruit. Just to recap, in case you're catching us today and you haven't watched any of the previous videos, our fruit are the things that we're producing, okay? The things that we are bringing into fruition. That's the first time I've used this word for this month, and I like it. But they're the things that we're bringing into fruition, or the things that we're producing into this world. So they could be physical things, so businesses, children, families, things like that, or it could be intangible things. So love, joy, peace, in areas where those things aren't available. So today we're going to talk about how. The first reason, and honestly the first way, and this should honestly be the first thing that you do with anything that you're starting, is to pray about it. And it's not enough to just pray like, Lord, allow me to be fruitful. But if you are really wanting to multiply your fruit, or wanting to see an increase in the things that you have produced, you need to be specific with your request, okay? Not just like, hey, God, I really want to see an increase in my fruit, and that's it. No, be specific. I want to see X, Y, and Z in this fruit, and I'm believing that you are going to make that happen. And continue praying for it. Don't just pray it and leave it, by the wayside. Like, you have to be fervent. You have to be intentional and purposeful and persistent in your prayer requests to God, so that not only are you speaking it into existence, but you're also allowing Him to work, and also showing Him your consistency. Like, hey, this is something that I really want, and this is a request that I'm bringing to you, God. And this is, as long as it lines up with things that are in His will, He'll allow it to happen. Or, if not, He'll show you, the reason why, and then hopefully you can change from there. So yes, the first way how to multiply your fruit is to pray about it. The second thing is to plan. And this may seem a little obvious, but I don't think that so much it is. When you really think about increasing or multiplying something that you have produced, if you don't have a set plan in place, you may see a small increase and then it's gonna flop. Or you may, start to gain some ground in a different area, and then you're back at square one. So make sure that you have a good plan in place on not only how to multiply, but also how to maintain what you have multiplied. Third thing is going back to your how and your why as to why you've labored, okay? And that's important to always keep that in your mind, because you've worked so hard for this. You don't want to see it flop, right? So you've worked so hard to bring this fruit to life. Again, whether that's tangible or intangible, in multiplying it, sometimes understanding how to multiply it is knowing how and why you labored so hard. So go back to that. Fourth thing is be patient. And if I don't speak to anybody else right now, I'm speaking to myself. Sometimes, let me back up. A lot of times when I am looking for an increase in things, I'm very, well, I used to be like this. I'm not really like this anymore, but I used to want to see the results so bad. And I was very impatient, very, very impatient. For example, this video project, I really wanted to see it get off the ground. I wanted to see it get a lot of subscribers, and it just blow up into something that I would not have even imagined. And we're here where we are. It's not where I thought it would be, but I have learned throughout this process just to be patient with things. It's reaching who it needs to reach. It has multiplied in areas that I didn't even think that it would multiply in, and I am grateful for that. Fifth thing is to continue laboring. Okay, so just because you've reached a step in your increase doesn't mean that you should not continue working. And that honestly goes without saying. If you want to see anything grow or increase, you have to keep working at it. And then the last thing that I thought of was speak it, okay? Speak it, manifest it, allow that thing to take place. It kind of goes back to the first point of praying about it, but you have to speak those things. Once you've prayed about it and ask God about it, then you need to say, okay, this is what I'm expecting and this is what's going to happen. Okay, so if you plan on seeing an increase in your finances, speak that thing. Okay, if you plan on, seeing an increase in your family, whether that is, with children or however that looks like, speak that thing. If you plan on seeing an increase of love that you brought forth in certain situations, speak that thing. I got a little ratchet at the end, but you can never, never, never speak it too much, especially if it is a positive fruit, okay, a good fruit, and something that is needed, okay? So understand that, speak that thing, and let that just be that on that. Got real ratchet at the end. I'm not quite sure what happened, but yeah, so those are the different ways of how you can multiply your fruit. Of course, there are a lot of different other ways that I can probably think of if I had more time, or that you could think of and that you should be thinking of. But those are ways I thought of. If you have any other ways, make sure you drop them in the comments. Let me know, interact with me, all of that. So next week we are going on to our last week of talking about being fruitful, and we're talking about enjoying our fruit, which this should be the best part. Okay, this should be the best part. After we've done all this work, after we have planned so that it can multiply, we need to sit back and enjoy it. So I'm really excited to get into next week, but hope everyone has a great Friday, a fabulous Saturday, and a blessed Sunday, and I will talk to you guys again on Monday. Bye.